Why just take away the rights of law-abiding citizens? Why limit their protection? Why hope that by removing access to certain weapons or making it harder to get access to certain weapons, the criminals, bad guys, lunatic, murderous, evil dirtbags won't still kill people? There are many ways to kill people with mass attacks. It's not just by guns. You can have bombings. The people fail to remember that Columbine, the killers there, used pipe bombs. You don't have to just have a gun to kill people at a school. I saw the largest mass killing at a school in America involved a guy. I got this from the Smithsonian magazine online. He shot, I believe it was a rifle, at a cart full of dynamite that he placed next to the school. And that happened it was the 20s, if I remember correctly. I'll add the correct information here on the video with pictures and images and stuff, so you got it right. So just taking certain guns away won't necessarily make any school safer. So what are some good ideas, things we can do to be proactive to deter such killers? One, maybe metal detectors at schools. I worked at UPS. I had to go through a metal detector fenced area to get into the loading factory. I don't know why we can't have metal detectors at schools. I had a friend and from Louisiana. His school, I guess, was so bad they actually had metal detectors. So if we are and we have metal detectors all sorts of places, right? We have it at airports. We have it at courts. The job I worked at, like at UPS, we had them. So it was to sense things coming in and out. And we have it at places that we expect violence. At UPS, I think it was because they were expecting us to steal stuff, maybe, more so than shoot the place up. But we have this at other places. I'm sure if you go to, let's say, visit the White House or some other institution of law within our government, you're going to have metal detectors like the courts. I know the court I have to go to for jury duty, there's the metal detector, and you have to run your bag through and stuff. We do it there because we expect that's a place where violence could occur, and we don't want violence to occur. So we do things to help prevent it. And by the metal detectors, there are typically guards with guns. We do it in all these other places. Why not do it at schools too? It would create jobs, and it would be proactive to hopefully help ensure safety. Now, along that line, this would be limiting. This would be number 2, limit entry points into the school. If you're going to have metal detectors and guards there, you don't want many entrances. So you want to make sure all the entrances are closed and locked. All right, and that students have to come in and out through one place throughout the entire day, and that includes any guests and visitors. A lot of schools have multiple entry points. I know my high school, we had 4 entry points as students coming to school, and probably 5 or 6 depending on who propped doors open for us. Which leads to number 3. You can't just have people at one point. You need to hire people that can walk the perimeter the whole time, walk the halls the whole time. You probably need 3 or 4 people, hired security, whose sole job is just security. Now, this is if you care for saving the lives of students and ensuring we know who comes in and out and what's on their person when they do. All right? I don't know if I think that was 3. A 4th one then, another idea, allow teachers to carry guns. Now, I know a lot of people go, you can't force teachers to carry guns. You're going to make teachers be cops. You're going to make them be militarized, blah, blah, blah. No, we're not forcing anyone. The idea is if a teacher desires to carry a gun, and let's go ahead and say concealed carry, let them do that if their state allows concealed carry. And they've taken whatever classes, whatever test are necessary by that state to get the permit. If they can do it in their day-to-day life, why not let them do it at the school? Then make it known we allow our teachers to have concealed carry. Just the mere threat of, okay, I mean, if you're a mass shooter, you want to get as many deaths as possible because that makes you more famous. That gets you more infamous. So do whatever you can to eliminate that. If they know there's a greater chance they're not going to kill as many people, they're not going to go to your school. And if they know there's likely a good number of teachers that are armed, they're less likely to want to attack at that school, especially if you have the security staff I was talking about in place and the checkpoints. It's going to make things a lot harder. Another one, this goes to the media, all right? The media and even us, because we're all now media, social media. Don't share the names of the shooters. Don't spend too much time talking about them or how many deaths and how many people they killed. Just refer to as mass shooting, just refer to mass casualties. Refer to them as evil, rotten losers, scumbags, dirtbags, whatever you want to say. Don't give their name. Don't plaster their picture everywhere. They do this stuff because they do want to get famous. That's what they've seen. And if you do a lot of this and almost make them famous, you then get the copycats, right? They say this with suicides. If there's a high-profile celebrity suicide spike across the board for the population. Same sort of thing I think I've heard with the mass shootings. It encourages others to do the sort of thing because they know they can get the attention, even if it's after they die. All right. Sixth thing I would say to be more proactive in stopping. I think everything here is more proactive in stopping. The sixth thing, I don't know if it's so much proactive, it's definitely a deterrent. When someone does do something like this, and if they don't kill themselves in the process, make the trial quick and swift, because we know they did it. Make it quick, make it swift, and then publicly execute them. That goes with the whole, it's not going to encourage other people. If you're being publicly executed and put to shame super quickly and not having like years worth or months worth or years worth of news coverage again and again and again, it's not gonna encourage other people to do this, especially if they're doing it for fame. That's some ideas right there. I can't remember if I had any other ideas besides those 6 right there. I guess beyond that, it would just be very vigilant, right? Pay attention to people's behaviors. People's don't take anything for granted. I mean, a lot of times after these shootings, not all the time. Sometimes they're like, "Oh, we had no idea. We didn't suspect this at all." But sometimes after these shootings, people go, "Yeah, I suspected something." Like in the San Bernardino shooting, the neighbor said we suspected something, but we didn't say anything because we didn't want to be considered racist. And in this latest shooting in Florida at a school, the problem there was students suspected it, right? They said, this is going to happen. That's the guy that's going to do it. And cops were called a lot. So we got to be able to recognize the people at fault. People have to have a voice. And there has to be somehow something to occur. And I don't know what that would be legally, because we don't want to get into minority report status here. But he did make threats, and they were public. So he should have lost access to his guns that he had, or he should have been flagged if he got the guns after such public threats were made known. So the background checks failed. All right. That's it. I guess be vigilant, share. Don't be afraid to speak and to get help if you think someone is at risk of harming others. All right, those are my ideas to be proactive, to stop these school shootings. And I tell you what, whenever my daughter and son get to a school, I'm going to be looking at these things. I'm going to go through the school and see how many checkpoints do they have, who comes in and out, how do you know, is there security, how many guards, do they have guns? I'm going to advocate for this stuff, and I think that's what we got to do, and it has to happen local levels to care about our own schools.